It's 7:31 in the AM, and this upload is with regard to the crimes I'm experiencing and the communications and correspondence that haven't been appropriately addressed. As is evident, there have been bodily integrity damages to my anatomy by practitioners that have been of developments in this community that are unauthorised and unlawful. So the circumstances surrounding these developments don't only affect climate change and the environment, flora and fauna, they also affect privacy and confidentiality, and have culminated in a very, very intrusive offence of a person's personal space and privacy, basically, from a remote status or place. So I'm really curious this morning how any establishment could be issuing any documentation to this person that isn't even properly formalised. That in itself is an offence. As I've mentioned, there has been correspondence that is not suitable to be addressed that I have received simply due to the crimes to my physical well-being. As I've mentioned, my spiritual status, my royal status, my property status, all my rights and entitlements have been disrespected in a democracy. And as a recovery advocate, I'm really concerned for those that are assisting these offences I'm tolerating, my bodily integrity being disrespected, my right to freedom being disrespected, my home in Tubbard Hill being disrespected, my beautiful child being disrespected. I'm wondering how the Department of Justice, that is aware of the Criminal Justice Act that came about as a consequence of my humanitarian endeavour in 2018, I'm curious as to how the Department of Justice is addressing this matter without acknowledging the correspondence and communications it's received from me since 2017. So I'm concerned, as I've mentioned, about the message this sends out to young women, mothers that are affiliated or associated or facilitating any crimes I'm experiencing. The fact that there have been individuals that have been breaching protocol and my privacy and protection rights is a bit of a serious issue, considering that I have a clean track record and I'm confronted with corrupt human beings that have no gracious approach to their transactions they've conducted illegally or unlawfully that has been for monetization from me. The issue of the environment and the climate change issue, those matters are one other serious issue. But the very fact that I have to document my day every 45 minutes visually with footage that is a protection measure. I mean, that in itself being evident in this situation brings to light the insecurity and the lack of safety in people's lives, with people, repeat offenders against the state, still causing breaches and offence. So, as I've mentioned, I'm waiting for the relevant departments to address these wrongdoings for quite a while. As a woman that has experienced medical negligence, and as a recovery advocate, and as a woman of spiritual status, that is quite important. I'm concerned that there would be anyone assisting any defamation or false reporting against my good name or my good reputation or character. So this morning there's an issue with liabilities in society that have not played properly, that have shifted the goalposts and that have dirtied the grounds, basically, metaphorically, that is. And the issue with the individuals that have endangered my property and disrespected the church and my matrimony and my beautiful child, I'm really concerned about, as this is from a recovery advocate of women's rights. I'm really concerned for those that would be in breach and that would be sending out the message how unsafe women's lives are in a democracy. It's really quite serious what I've experienced, and as I've mentioned, any correspondence I've received that isn't formalised and that isn't in any way based upon factualities, I'm concerned about those facilitating further exacerbatory wrongdoings and that are in violation of my rights or the protocol or protection or privacy that I'm automatically entitled to. So the Department of Justice and the Criminal Justice Act and the other legislative developments that have come about as a consequence of my work have, in the minds of these individuals, been renegotiated with regard to my entitlements. I have entitlements and they're being disrespected, and I'm in a situation where there are repeat offenders in my proximity and they're conducting matters that are very unsafe, that violate many laws. So this morning, this upload is for the attention of the Department of Justice with regard to the wrongdoings that I have endured and the wrongdoings my child has endured, and the issue of legislation that arose from my work and the entitlements that have not been fulfilled and the obligations that have not been fulfilled. There's a matter of fraud occurring, and there's a matter of medical negligence occurring, and there's a matter of debt that hasn't been addressed, and that debt is since 2006. So this morning, those that are jeopardizing the heritage of my ancestors and that are risking people's lives and that are facilitating offences against the church, I'm very concerned for the message that sends out to young women. As a married mother, property owner, there's a little bit of an issue with the offences I'm being exposed to. That my privacy has been exposed is quite dangerous as well. So there's a lot going on. It's a very sensitive situation, and it's very irresponsible for covetousness in this matter to be facilitated when it risks my farm holdings and my beautiful child, as it would with any home and family. So the people that have been accommodating wrongdoings, I am concerned for you. The dangers my child has been exposed to don't make the world safe. And as a humanitarian, I would hope that fellow humanitarians would be aware of the sinister nature of what I'm experiencing and how dangerous it is for me to have to endure any more without any reparations and without the obligations fulfilled. So this is for the